What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome into another episode of Bulls on Tap, presented by On Tap Sports Network. I'm your host, Derek, and of course, I'm here with my co host, Melissa. Melissa, how's it going?
What's up, gang? How y'all doing?
And today we are joined by digital creator and influencer, Genesis. Genesis, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, if you've seen the show before, or people tuning in, they know we're going to start with your Bulls origin story. How did you become a Chicago Bulls fan?
Wow. So I think it just naturally happened because I grew up with two older brothers, and they're way older than me. My oldest brother's like 19 years older than my other closest one in age is 11 years older. So anyway, so they were always watching it in the background, and especially the one that I'm closer with. So he would always watch it during obviously like the Jordan era, and I grew up watching it, but it wasn't until like towards like my junior senior of high school where I started like watching it more actively on TV, and then right when like college time is when like the D Rose era started, and so that's when I started watching it like religiously, and so like just became a huge Bulls fan. Obviously, like like the hype was real with D Rose, and it was a great time to experience basketball, especially because I couldn't really like remember the Jordan era since I was a baby, but having something like D Rose was really something to look forward to, in basketball, and honestly like. Basketball is the only sport that I really watch. I can watch other sports, but it's the most that I understand and I know about, and I think it's entertaining. So yeah, it wasn't until like I think when I end of high school and then going on to college that I really became more involved with the Bulls. But it was all thanks to just like growing up with my brothers and them always watching it.
Because this is always either MJ or Derrick Rose. We gotta keep a tally, Melissa, on who for each episode is it Jordan or is it Rose?
It's just like it's kind of also a quick way to just find out about how old somebody is too. Like,
True. Well, I'm 30. I'm 32, so I mean, but still, yeah.
And then if it's not that, it's influence from, like you said, older brothers, older sisters, moms, dads. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And it's funny because one of my greatest memories is like they used to have, I don't know if they still do it, but I know back then they had like Paint the Town Red, where they would have these pop-ups where they would come and fans would be able to greet them. So I went to one, I think it was like in 2010 or something like that. They did one at the Water Tower Place downtown. I got to meet like D Rose, Kyle Korver, Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah, and like all of them. So that was like my greatest memory because I got to be like up close and shake hands with them and get their autographs. So that was really fun.
Who was the friendliest, or I mean, do you have like any memories specific to that exact situation that you were in?
Not specific memories, but I mean, I have a bunch of pictures I could show you, but they're like probably not going to come out like this. I would say Taj Gibson was pretty friendly. You know who was there? Scalabrine, Brian Scalabrine, right?
Yes,
that was yeah. He was White Mom. Yeah, he was there, which he was pretty funny too. So yeah, it was really fun.
That's dope. I don't think they do that anymore, probably because they haven't made the playoffs in a while. But
yeah. But it was fun. Yeah. And I mean, there was a lot of people that were there, like it was cool to see, everybody coming together and like, White Mom and really, support the team. So it was nice. And they did it right in front of like the Adidas store. Cause I guess, Derrick Rose had his contract with Adidas. And so it was all right there.
Do you remember, like, were you waiting in line a long time for that? Was it like a first come, first serve thing?
It was a first come, first serve, but I was probably one of the first few in line just because I had gotten out of like college. It was during my break. So I went with a friend and I'm like, okay, we have to go. And I ended up missing the other classes that day, but it was worth it, I think, because there was, by the time like maybe 30 minutes after I got there, the line started building up. So yeah, it was fun.
You made the right decision.
Yeah, for sure. It's a once in a lifetime. Yeah.
So digital creation and influencing, how did you start building your brand with that?
Honestly, I've always just been really interested in like content creation ever since like the early days of like MySpace, Facebook, and stuff like that. I've always just been into like taking pictures and videos and things like that. But it wasn't until like I started interning, in college and doing some social media internships and things like that. I've always just been interested in storytelling, visual storytelling, whether it's pictures or videos. I'm engaging with people. And so I started doing that personally too. Back in the day, like when I was like super hardcore into fitness. I mean, I still am, but it's more lifestyle now. But back in the day, I would have like specific cheat meal days. And it was like on Sundays usually or Fridays where I would go with like one of my best friends who was also on the same kind of schedule with me, and we would go out to places to eat. And then there wasn't like Instagram Reels back then. It was just like pictures. So I would post pictures of my food, things like that. And then once Reels came and TikToks came, I started doing videos, and yeah, I mean, I kept on doing it until one of them eventually like picked up and got a lot of engagement. And then it started increasing like the follower count. And then I felt like, well, I have to keep this momentum going now. So then I started producing more and more content. So it kind of just happened. It's not that I wanted to do it, but it just like you produce enough content people like, and I feel like now I have an audience that expects more out of me. So I have to continue to produce and produce.
Chris in the comments says, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And Semity says, afternoon, y'all. I saw donuts on X, so I had to tap in.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, donuts are very good.
Can you talk to us kind of about that too? That whole situation with I think your handle is Donut Mommy, right?
Yeah. It's funny because my handle before that was something else. It was like Shy Foodie Jen, because I was just focused on food and then just being in the Chicago area. But then I told myself maybe I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago that when I changed my name, I was just like, I don't want to limit myself to Chicago because, I want to be able to explore outside of Chicago and not have people think, oh, well, she just does Chicago content or Chicago food. And then I was like, I want a name that's memorable. So I was talking to my friends for a while. I'm like, what kind of name should I do? And they're like, oh, well, you like dessert a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And my go-to dessert is usually like anything chocolate or anything donuts. So she's like, well, we were trying to play around names, and obviously like you have to find the name that's not taken. And I was like, okay, what about Donut Mommy? And then because I'm like, I love donuts, but I'm also Latina, so I wanted to put that little Latina flair in there, for mommy. So a little fun play. And then I had gotten Donut Mommy, but then I saw that the one like the Donut Mommy with one eye was taken, so I'm like, man, I have to put 2 eyes. So that's where Donut Mommy came. Yeah.
So now we know the origin story on Bull's background and the origin story on the Donut Mommy.
I kind of want to know what your favorite donut shop is real quick before we move on from that.
Yeah, my favorite is Do Right Donuts. I think, like there's so many donut shops, but that one, they just do like really good donuts. Like old-fashioned donuts are my favorite because they're like, like crunchy, and they just are nice and like, either caramelized on the top, or they just have like that, like that dipping on the top. So it's just, I don't know, it's really good. So yeah, definitely Do Right Donuts.
Right. So you've been invited to the United Center for Bulls games, where I've seen on your reels they've had you tasting things at the United Center.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with home court UC. What is your favorite dish that is served at the United Center?
Oh, that's interesting. You know what? I actually, that's tough. The favorite dish. So I'll say that the FanDuel Sportsbook Lounge has a really good burger, and that was my favorite when I did like that kind of series. And from the times that I've gone, I really love burgers. So for me, that was a really good bite. I definitely recommend it. I think it was just their FanDuel burger, but it was good quality meat. The toppings that they use, I think they had like some like kind of like cheddar-y cheese. It was just really good. So if you have a chance, I mean, it's a great place too. They have great drinks there. They have, like obviously a good ambiance because people are watching all the screens of all the different games going on and things like that, and people are betting. So it's a really good ambiance if you're looking for something outside of just like being actually like in the court or like in the the arena right there. Being outside there is really fun too.
So you being a foodie, Vooch tweeted asking what our favorite burger places are in Chicago. What would your answer to that one be?
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of people like Au Cheval, right? Like a lot of people know about Au Cheval, like in West Loop, and it's a really good place. But for me, like my go-to burger spot is actually like on Taylor Street by UIC. It's called Busy Burger. for me, best burgers, hands down. Like they have grass-fed burgers, first of all, but then they also have like turkey burgers. And then outside of that, they have like a great menu with like awesome milkshakes too. Hot dogs, Polish dogs. But yeah, Busy Burger in on Taylor Street by UIC, definitely my favorite.
Chris said that's his favorite too.
Yeah,
it's like we got to make sure that somebody runs this clip past Vooch so he knows.
Yeah,
what
send
a
it to him,
good
please.
burger.
It was definitely a lot of Cheval, and then like Little Bad Wolf was also a top runner.
I mean, those are really good too. The thing is, like, they're really known for their burgers, and they do like over the top burgers, and they have, you know, so like I love those too. But I think just like for an everyday, all around, just good burger that's like not super expensive, also that you could just like order in or whatever, like that's really good. Yeah, Busy Burger.
Trumpet Poppy says podcast is making me hungry.
Oh yeah, shout out Trumpet Puppy. He's my friend.
Shout out to him. Thank you for tapping in with us. So other than burgers, what are your like top 3 spots that if somebody says, hey, I'm coming to Chicago, what restaurant should I check out?
Well, okay. I would say if you're coming to Chicago and you want good views, what's it called? Offshore in Navy Pier. Always like for me, like I think I used to recommend Cindy's Rooftop because it has like a nice, like, you know, view of Chicago. But I would say unless another rooftop, you know, open that's bigger than that, but I think it's the biggest in the US, the biggest rooftop. And so as great views, you know, 360 views of Chicago, and like the drinks are obviously amazing. It's a bar, but the food is also really good. And so I would say if you want the views and good drinks and a good vibe for a nighttime kind of crowd, I would say that offshore. I would say I actually went to this new restaurant that opened, I think like 2 weeks ago. It's called Toro. It's amazing, by celebrity chef Richard Sandoval. And it's just like, it feels like you're in Miami. Like it's so dark and it's red and it's just like really cool. And they're going to have like live DJs on the weekends. So they're trying to make it like a place where people come at night, but also like it's elevated food and drinks. So I would say that one. And that one's by Millennium Park, like across Millennium Park in the Fairmont Hotel. And then a third one. That's tough. Where would I say? I like blanking out because I'm like, I've been to so many restaurants and it's so hard. You know what? Can I come back to you on that one? Because I'm trying to think. I'm going through my Instagram right now. I'm like, I know I have some that I'm just like blanking out right now. Yeah, can I get back to you on that one? For the last one, maybe we'll save it till the end. Maybe I'll give my last one in the end.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
How about with you being Latina? How about spots that are catering to the Latina community and their food dishes?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you have like the great neighborhoods like in Pilsen, you know, pulls up with that. That's funny. Yeah, so I would say, you know, like I just went there last week, but La Luna in Pilsen is really good. It's a great place. If you're looking for a good coffee shop, also like on Halsted, South Halsted, there is Malinche Cafe. Malinche Cafe. That one's really good. Mexican owned, I think, or half Mexican. I think there's something else too, but they have great, you know, Café de Olla, La Catedral, you know, in Little Village, but they also have a new spot that opened as well. So they're really good. If you're looking for really good tacos, also in Little Village, there is La Chaparrita Taqueria, which is really good. And that's actually the first video that actually got me going on social media because they were on Taco Chronicles. So I would say that's another really good one. And then in Pilsen, if you're looking for brunch, Pochos is amazing. They have a good like chicken and waffles. That's the best. So I would say like anything in Pilsen is a for sure.
Can you kind of tell us about that first video that you were saying that got you going? Like what was your strategy behind that? I know you were saying you're just kind of doing it for fun, but what do you think made that one stand out so much?
Yeah, I think because Taco Chronicles, and I don't know if you guys have seen it on Netflix, but it came out and they highlighted one of the first if not the first episode, was like Chicago, I think. And they highlighted some, like, I think 4 places, 4 taquerias in Chicago. And I think it appeared like on a Friday. And then I want to say that I either went on a Saturday or on a Sunday right after. And I was like, well, let me just go check it out, and just like post about it. I didn't really have that many followers at the time. I think I only had like maybe 2,000 or something. So I was growing. I mean, it was definitely a lot more than what I had before, but it was growing. And I was like, let me post about it. Like it just appeared. And I feel like, people might want to know about it if they haven't seen it. So I was just like, let me go. And I did a quick little video, and I really didn't put too much effort into it as I do now, where I'm like editing crazy, and staying up late and doing all these things. So I just went in with my dad, actually, because he was also craving tacos, and they had like a wide variety to choose from too, the different meat options and things like that. So we went, and it was pretty packed. But I want to say, like, I think maybe after I went again, like a few weeks later, and it was super packed because everyone was like, the hype was real about it afterwards. But yeah, that was just like my strategy, just going in because it was something new and a place that I never went to, and it was pretty close to me anyways in Little Village. So I was like, why not make the trip? And definitely worth it. The tacos are like definitely on the smaller side, but you get to eat more. So it's all good.
Yeah, Sammy says he needs a list for when he finally visits Chicago. So Sammy, make sure like you watch the replay.
Yeah.
Kind of slow it down and get your notepad out because she's dropping some gems in here.
Follow me at Donut Mommy on
I was just
Instagram.
gonna say that. You can probably just follow her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that. Chris is always in the comments with his Bulls on food now. So we'll go to a little bit more Bulls question. Watching the team this year compared to last year, years before, with them running more, is that more entertaining to you as a fan?
I think so. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely miss the crew. I miss Alex Caruso, I miss DeMar DeRozan, because for me, like, they were the heart of, like, the game. I know like Kobe White has stepped up a lot since last year, and I love him as a player. I would say he's my favorite player. But like, there's definitely a difference in like the momentum. We have younger guys on there. They're able to like Matas Buzelis, right? He's able to do those, really cool dunks, and it's like it provides a show. So I think there's excitement. For me, I miss the old crew. I don't know. But I also see that things need to change because we weren't really getting anywhere. But yeah, that's my take. It is entertaining though.
Okay, like, speaking of not getting anywhere, we're currently in 9th place, which is the play-in again, and
yeah,
looks like that's where we'll be.
Weren't we in 12th just a few days ago? So I think, or something, or lower. I don't know, but now we're.
Yeah. And pretty much it's like we're going to be in that play-in range, as long as we have Zach LaVine. So
yeah,
your opinion is, do we move Zach and hope to bottom out and keep our draft pick, or are you in favor of keeping Zach?
I'd like to keep him just for this season, just to see, because I feel like he's able to shine a little bit more now that he doesn't, like, he can actually focus on what he has to do. I feel like, with another all-star like DeMar DeRozan, he wasn't able to do that maybe as much. And with, like, missing Alex Caruso and them, like, I feel like he has more of a chance to shine. So I feel like he's been doing great, like, these past few games, especially. So I would say keep him. I think things are going well. Yeah, I would say keep him. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys? Can I ask you guys? What do you guys think?
I think that we have to like try to trade him, because if not, we're in the play-in again, and we probably lose out on our draft pick, which is supposed to be a pretty good draft class, and it's kind of just like we're stuck in that same not good enough to contend and not bad enough to have a high draft pick.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way. Sadly, it's great to see Zach and Keith really do their things because they're really shining right now, especially with the change of pace that they're playing at. versus like you had mentioned with DeMar on the team last year. I love DeMar DeRozan. I love Alex Caruso, but completely different game. They just didn't thrive in that type of space. So as much as it's really nice to see them really stepping it up big time, they're like our two best players right now. It's not sustainable long-term for what the Bulls have to do. So sadly, if we have to think about like the next year or two, it's
no, I know. And like part of me is like, I know we have to, I just don't want to, just because I think it's just like one of those things, you're so used to it and you see the potential, but we you know, it's just that.
Definitely.
As seeing Zoe back too.
What
could have been.
I know. I mean, and I feel so bad for him. I hope it's not another like Derrick Rose story with him. You know, with his injuries and things like that, but we'll see. Hopefully not.
Thankfully, his knee's been pretty much holding up. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You were recently invited to the unveiling of the Bulls Cup Court. How did that event go?
It was fun. I mean, I would say it's crazy because maybe I just haven't noticed it before, but there was only like a few females there and it was pretty much male dominated. So I felt a little intimidated and awkward just because I was like, I didn't recognize anyone that was there. I know that they invited like a bunch of other people from the media and content creators. I didn't recognize any of the content creators, but maybe it's because I'm in my like food lifestyle, you know, like kind of little bubble and like I don't know if they're gamers or whoever they are. So I didn't know who they were. So I felt a little out of place, but it was really cool because I've never gotten to actually walk the court before. So it was cool to just be on the floor, and the fact that they also let us like, you know, play and hoop around. It was like really cool. And obviously Horace Grant was there. So it was cool being able to do some drills with him, even though I can't really play. I like to watch it, but I suck at playing. But it was just fun being able to be a part of it and just like having up close look. So we did that. And then afterwards, there was like a little Q&A with Horace Grant and a little breakfast afterwards. And that was really cool, getting to learn more about him, his life, and, you know, also like highlights of his career and things like that.
And then you were approached with a rose by Benny the Bull.
Oh, that's so funny. My friend's like, are they gonna ask you that? But yeah, I love Benny. I feel like I have so many more pictures with Benny than anyone else, like than anything else, like on my Bulls folders that I have. Like, it's just so funny. I always see him. But yeah, they recently didn't they recently change the mask? Like whoever is the mascot for the Bull, like was it last year or the year before?
Last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys know. Do you happen to know who the person is?
Who is that masked man?
I know. I've tried to ask so many times, like my Bulls contact. I just casually tried to like squeeze it in there. I'm like, you know, who is it? And then she's like, oh, we can't say. We signed a contract. Like, we can't say. We'll be fired if we do. I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine.
There were rumors that it was a mascot from another NBA team. I don't remember which one, but yeah, I don't really know either.
It'd be so cool because, I mean, this person can dance, can do gymnastics, you know, like it's crazy.
Trumpet Poppy in the comments says that your dunk was crazy. So are you being modest about dropping buckets on the court?
No, I did not dunk. I wish I could dunk, but no, that was not me.
Brendan Dillinger says, has any... Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's get this guy out of here. All right, so getting back to the cup court, you were able to walk the court and you had a Q&A with Horace Grant. You were also later that night able to attend that cup game, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually really nice of them. And I think usually like when, at least but I feel like it's the same for anyone else who works with the Bulls, they usually like whenever we do some kind of thing, or they're really good about like giving us tickets to like either the Bulls game that day that we do something with them or at a future date. So yeah, that was really fun. I know, what's his face? Why am I blanking out? Who was there? There was like a few former Bulls players there that night. Who was it?
I believe it was
probably
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Tony
So that was
Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc, yeah, which was cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw Melissa. You had put something on X now about like the tickets for the D Rose night
Oh
in
yeah,
January. They're crazy expensive,
insane.
right?
I think
Like,
they're like over $300 for a nosebleed, and yeah, it's a lot. I usually will try to do like group games too to just kind of help everybody out with discounts.
yeah,
Even with that, it's just
it's tough. I'm
yeah.
hopeful that they might reach out and want to do something for that. I mean, like that would be amazing, but but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Jerry is definitely uh he's definitely feeling the
Capitalizing
profits from that night.
for sure.
Mhm.
Chris is laughing in
All
the
of Chicago
comment.
is going to be there, and then some. Derek not being from Chicago, so I have to.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great night. I can't wait. Whether I'm watching it like at home or are actually there, it'll be good.
Or Melissa, you and Ramina are talking about having a watch party for the Derrick Rose game.
Maybe we're just starting to talk about it now because it's like yeah, just a month away from now. So maybe like if we do end up doing it, like I wouldn't want to just do it like how we usually have our watch parties. I want to make it a little bit more special. So making sure that like we can figure everything out within this time frame. So I would love to do that because everybody would want to go to the game, and there's so many people that just can't make it because it's a little out of people's budgets. So that would be our reasoning behind it. Hopefully we can make it work.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Count me in. I'll go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh my
We
goodness.
gotta.
This guy, Chris, man. So let's do a watch party.
You should. They actually have you guys ever been to one of the Bulls like watch parties that they have that they host? They're pretty fun, right?
Yeah, those are fun. I like that they bring the whole crew out, and like Benny always comes through, and all the entertainment crew comes through. So yeah, those are always fun. Have you been to one too? Like how this last year?
Oh, sorry, it cut off. You're asking me?
Have you been to one?
I went to the Los Bulls one that they had. I think it was in Pilsen. It was on Green Room Tap, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I went to because they had like a little like Los Bulls thing that they worked on me with. So I did that one, and it was pretty fun.
That's cool.
It's
fun.
Are they doing a Los Bulls game this season?
They should be. I mean, last year it was during like I think March or something like that. I'm not sure.
So how did you end up starting to get to work with the Bulls? How do you think that you got their attention?
So I think I've been manifesting it for a long time, but I would say they did like this mural around Chicago, different murals around Chicago last year or this year, I can't even remember, but they did a few, and one of them was in Pilsen since that's closer to me. So as soon as they posted it that same day, I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. Let me go over there and like take some pictures. And so I just went over there and I took pictures in front of the mural. I did a little video and I tagged them. And I mean, it didn't really do too well on social media like that, but I was surprised. Like, I think either later that day or the next day in the morning, someone from the Bulls reached out to me. And I was just like, when I saw like the subject line that it said Bulls and Donut Mommy collab or something, I was like, what is this? So like my heart dropped because this was like so exciting to me. So yeah, they were like, oh, we just saw that you posted something on social with the murals. We loved it. And, we're actually looking to work with new creators this season and, blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of like where they wanted me to do like the food thing of the UC, a video for that. So that's how it initially started. But I think, yeah, it's because I just took some pictures as a fan in front of the mural, and that's how it caught their attention.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. The Bulls are very good with reaching out to fans and, just extending that Bulls community to everybody.
Yeah, no, I love it. And they actually, like, for me, I thought it was like a much larger team that, just because you think it's a pretty it's a global, a global team. And, you would expect there to be like a bunch of people on their actual like marketing team, but for like their influencer marketing, there's only a select few. It's a small group. So it was interesting to know that like, it's actually not too many people behind it. It's very like particular, very small.
Yeah. one of the chosen few.
Well, I mean, we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I feel like I know that they do partner with a lot of people, but again, they're people that I haven't seen, but it's probably because I'm not in their like area, you know, or their bubble of like the kind of content that they do.
What would you? Sorry, I was just going to ask what expectations were for the season. Like, where would you want the Bulls to end up, or like, what would you like to see most?
So, I mean, again, I think it's going to be another play-in situation. Will they make it past? I don't think so. I want them to. I don't think so. But it's nice. I mean, I anytime there's like a play-in game, I still want to go because I know it's probably going to be, sadly, you know, I know it's probably going to be the last time I'll be able to see them. So I'll for sure go if they're in the play-ins. I feel like they're going to have the same record as last year. What was it, like 39 and 42, right? Or 43 or something like that. I feel like it's either going to be on track to be that or maybe a little bit less. I don't know. But yeah, I would hope that, you know, they could turn things around depending again if there is any kind of trade. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I don't think so.
I know you mentioned you prefer Zach not to leave, but like if there's one player that you would deem like untouchable, this player cannot be traded, who is that player if it's not Zach?
On the Bulls, like that can't leave? Oh, for sure. I mean, I said it, like I love Coby White. He cannot leave. Like, I mean, I was even for a long time rooting for, instead of like Alex Caruso, like Vucevic could leave. But you know, like, not that I don't like him, you know, I just like, there are certain players, like for me, like Alex Caruso reminded me of what like Stacey King used to say for Joakim Noah. He was like the heart, hustle, and muscle kind of thing. Like, even though he wasn't a center or anything, but he just had like so much like heart in what he did, you know, and like his defense, and he was just like great, you know, and he was an all-team player. And I feel like, you know, now that he left, I think, you know, like certain people have stepped up, and like I said, Coby White has been great, has been growing, you know, like DeMar DeRozan was mentoring him a lot this past season. So yeah, I would hate to see Coby White go.
Yeah, I think most Bulls fans don't want to see Coby go. Yeah, I think like we're generally in the same boat as you, where you don't want to see the Bulls lose and you hope that they do well, but in reality, it kind of hits you and you're like, well, I don't really think they would make it far. So
yeah, it's a great idea, you know, to have, you know, but I don't think.
Joey P says build around Coby.
And also put cup holders in the United Center. Shout out, Joey.
That too. That would be amazing. Yeah. The amount of times things have been spilled around me and because of me too. Yeah.
Girl, those drinks, they are expensive and we can't even secure them in a nice little cup holder.
That too. There's this, yeah. That happened to me too. I think last year I was like, I had bought like an expensive cocktail, right? Because right there they're like over $20. And so I had bought it and I had it on the floor just because I don't know what I was doing. And some woman was coming in to go to her seat. And then like, she just like spilled it all. And it was like, no, my cocktail. But she bought me a new one, but it was just, yeah.
I think we got to replay this clip and try and get attention now.
For sure.
Chris says, for real, $77 for some damn water bottles.
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive. It's very expensive.
So, yeah, Melissa, we have to now get all their guests horror stories of not having cup holders at games.
We're going to have to clip it all up in like a big mashup at the end of the season.
I just said it to the UC.
But now, speaking of drinks, Bulls on Tap, your best places to go for a drink, whether it's a bar or restaurant, where have you had like your favorite drink at?
Okay, so this is going to be a plug because my friend is the owner of this bar, but I think it's amazing, not even just because he's my friend. Like, it's in the north side of Chicago in Lakeview East, I think, or Lakeview East area. It's called Raíces. It's a Mexican cocktail lounge bar. They have slight bites, not like it used to be a restaurant, but then the owner transitioned to make it to a bar because he loves cocktails and doing that kind of thing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. It's called Raices. They have a long list of cocktails, and they're good quality cocktails. They're not like, and the price is pretty good. I would say, like, compared to like downtown, you can get like a really good cocktail for like $11 to $12, which is less than than $20 or more that you could get downtown. So, and yeah, the quality is amazing for like the small place that it is. Great cocktails.
Very cool. Gotta check that out.
Hmm.
We're always here with the plugs and
Yeah.
bars, and shout out Clint and Logan's 11, where the watch parties are usually held.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess he doesn't really have that many TVs, but maybe I can convince him. If you guys ever want to have like a little watch party there, we can see what we can do.
Cool.
Hmm.
Do you have like a favorite pregame or postgame restaurant you like to go to?
Well, you know what? I don't really go like usually like if I'm watching a game, I don't really go anywhere like that. But I guess anywhere in either anywhere in Pilsen, has really good spots that you can just go and watch and have a good drink. So I don't really have a specific one though, because I don't really go out to like have
Yeah.
that before. But I mean, again, just always have to plug Pilsen because it's a great area.
I love Pilsen. It's just,
Yeah.
if you go there, you need to spend time on like parking. Like just know that you need to get there like half an hour earlier than you're supposed to be there because you're gonna be circling around. I love Pilsen though.
Yeah, no, the parking situation is bad. But I mean, once you have parking, you stay there the whole time.
Really.
Yeah.
As long as you're parked someplace where they do not tow.
Oh yeah, no, I've gotten tickets too there. So yeah, it's tricky sometimes.
I was just at an event there last week for Jesus through it. Shout out Jesus. He does work with the Bulls too, but it was at La Luna. Girl,
Wait.
were you there?
Yes, I was there. I didn't see you for Edgar Alejandro.
Yep. What?
That's so funny. Yeah,
Where were you?
I was kind of by where he was singing. On like, if you're looking at the stage, well, not the stage, but where he was singing, I was in the left.
Okay, it was like in the middle, and like in the middle of front.
Yeah.
How funny.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, like I went there and I only recognized like 3 people there, and then obviously like Jesus, but like I didn't know. It was a good mix, but it's just people, that I didn't recognize either.
Yeah, same. I didn't really know too many people either. I brought one of my girls because we had an event to go to after, so thankfully he let me bring her. And Manny from Juggernaut and Alex from Jefefina. Other than that, and Jesus, obviously.
Yeah.
But how funny.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Just another situation where you realize how small Chicago is.
How small it is, and like you could bump into anyone. It's crazy. Yeah. I feel like now that I'm trying to picture it, I feel like I do remember seeing you now that like we're talking, like I think I do, but vaguely, yeah.
I was like in the middle of front.
Yeah.
There was only like probably 1 or 2 people in front of me, so
yeah. Oh,
that's funny.
Oh, good to know. Well, that's good. Did you like his performance?
Oh my gosh, he was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of his music before, but when he got on stage and did his sing, I was like, okay. And a quick little follow, he was so good.
Yeah, great voice. Like, yeah, I was just like, I mean, I've heard a little bit because my friend actually wanted to go to his show like the following day.
Yeah.
And she got sick, so we didn't end up going. But yeah, it was a nice little surprise that we got to hear him for a little bit, like do a few songs that day. So yeah, it was cool.
Did you go to Soho after too?
No, I wanted to too, but I had a different event later, so I left right after. So I didn't end up going.
Same.
But I know it was good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we had our little moment. My bad.
Yeah. He's like, what?
Go Bulls.
Yeah, go Bulls. So Genesis, are you planning on attending any other Bulls games this season?
I mean, I am definitely going to try to do the Derrick Rose night game, and then I usually try to go to at least like 5 to 6 games a season. So I think right now I have like 2 or 3. So we'll see. Yeah, but I mean, definitely more not, I don't think anytime this month, but for sure in the following year, which is right around the corner.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we the Bulls are having a back to back tomorrow and Friday. First up is the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, and then the Indiana Pacers. You have any prediction of what we might go 0-2, 2-0, 1-1?
With them, well, first I gotta say, before that, I was sad that, well, I already knew, but it was a nice little cup run that we had before. But yeah, I would say you know, Spurs are sort of, so-so. I think they're like in the same kind of spot as we are. So I would say it's a winnable game. I would say it's a winnable series against them. And then sorry, what was the other one? What's the other team?
The Indiana Pacers.
The Pacers. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised because last season they were really good, and this, what are they right now? They're in 9th spot, I think. We're in 8th and they're in 9th. So we have the same record right now. I don't know. I haven't really seen the Pacers play, I think, this season. So I don't, but just based off the numbers, I think we have a pretty good shot with them. But I haven't seen them play this season yet. So I can't really say too much. But I would say, based on the numbers, we have a pretty good shot also of winning.
I'm going to go 2-0 just because we got to ride on this momentum.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with 2-0 just because we have not won 2 straight on a back-to-back this season.
Yeah.
So
remember last season we were really gunning to like hit that 3rd game. We can never hit that.
I know, it was so. Weren't they trying to do something with, like, I don't know if you guys watched like Kendall Gill and what's his face,
Jason Gold.
Jason Gold. Like, weren't they trying to do something? Like, didn't Kendall Gill say like, oh, if we are who's the other one? I'm so bad at names. The other person that was there, former Bulls player.
Will Perdue.
Will Perdue. One of them, wasn't there like a little thing, like if they had gotten to like 3 games, they were going to do something like back to back. I forgot, there was like a little thing, like, I don't know if Will Perdue was going to do something or Kendall Gill was going to do something if they won back to back 3 games. But yeah, it sucks that we haven't been able to do that.
Man, we're hoping this back to back with kind of not top contender opponents. Maybe we'll be able to pull it off, even though Chris is saying he thinks we're going to split 1-1.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I hope. I remember last year. What was it last year? They were I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind. Forget it.
All right. So kind of like at the end of the show, so we're going to circle back to your third recommendation on a restaurant.
Okay. So I said offshore. I said that new Toro restaurant. In the city. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I would say this is a newer restaurant. If you're looking for like Oaxacan food, I would say Istmo is really good. I know the chef, and he has worked with, other Michelin star chefs, but like now he has his own restaurant, and they just started offering dinner. They were offering brunch only until they got their liquor license. But now that they have their liquor license, they have like a great dinner menu, and it's very like fine dining. But it's interesting because it's like fine dining mixed with like very cultural, like rooted food from like, Oaxaca. So it's definitely a cool experience. And the owner, I also know because there's 2 owners, he has great cocktails. And so it's going to be a really good place for great fine dining kind of food, but also amazing cocktails. So Istmo.
Okay, now I'm going to need you to explain what kind of food that is, because my palate is very black. So.
No, it's okay. No. And I should mention, like, yeah, most of the recommendations are probably going to be like Latin, or like, like, or Mexican. But yeah, it's Oaxaca, so it's in the southern region of Mexico, and their food is very simple. using a lot of simple, like natural ingredients. And so I think that's what a lot of people like love about it, because it's just very like, you would, for a restaurant, you would think that, like you wouldn't think that all these like little simple ingredients, it's just like they do a lot of like tomato based foods, a lot of foods with black beans. And so yeah, it's just very like simple food, but it's very tasty.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right. So before we get out of here, do you want to tell the people of any upcoming projects you have and where they can follow you?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Donut Mommy. I primarily post on Instagram and TikTok, so you can follow me there. As for collabs, you know what? Someone just reached out to me from Cricket Wireless, so I think I might be doing something with Cricket Wireless. I think I have this ongoing partnership with this wine company, which is actually really good. So I'm going to be doing some stuff with wine for the holidays. And for me, it's just like I'm very open to doing a lot of things, because for me as a Latina, it's really important like to represent. With these big partnerships, it means a lot to me, because back then I didn't think I was able to like even partner with the Bulls. Like I didn't even think that was a possibility. So for me, I'm always super grateful for any kind of partnership that I get. But I also understand that it's a way for me to also kind of be the representative, for Mexicans, for Latinas. And so it's very important for me to have these partnerships and to really promote them. As cheesy as they can be, I think it's important for people to see like, yeah, there's a Latina like in Chicago or whatever that can actually like work with them, and it is possible. So yeah, any opportunity I get, I'm really happy for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not cheesy at all. Like that,
Yeah, well, some people could think, yeah.
Like that's what we're here to do as Bulls on Tap, is giving a spotlight to people that are Bulls fans in the community and their backgrounds, their interests, and just bring it to everybody to be able to see. And Bulls community is tight knit, so
that's awesome. I love that.
You're going to get support. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, Melissa, you have anything before we go?
Maybe if you could answer for the audience, if you could give like one piece of advice for anybody that's like looking into doing something that you're doing, what would that be?
I would say just don't stop. Like if you want to do content and be a content creator or anything along those social media lines, I would say just don't stop creating content, because sometimes people get discouraged. Like even me now, like I work so hard on posting a great video, and I think it's going to be great, and then it ends up like not doing well or what I expected. And so it's okay when things don't work out, or if you have so much excitement, build so much excitement for something, and it doesn't work out or it doesn't perform the way you want it to. It's okay. I think continue until like you find something that works for you, because that's how we learn, as we go. Like for me, it wasn't until like a certain time where I'm just like, okay, I experimented with a lot of different things, and I'm like, okay, my audience prefers more this kind of content versus this kind of content. So you kind of learn as you go. So just to continue to create and do what you want to do, because I think we often get discouraged by a lot of things, and we're our own critics. And so it's important to just be positive and continue to do what you love, because I wouldn't have it any other way. I have worked a long time in the opposite industry, marketing on the other side and working with influencers on the other side of things. And that was okay for a while until I gained a lot of experience and decided to do my own thing. But I never liked working for, other agencies where I had all these different clients. I think now I can be my own boss and do my own things. And so it's really important for me to have work-life balance and be able to love what I do. So I would just say, if you want to love what you do, continue to do what you want to do.
Beautiful. I just want to thank you for your time, and that was really great.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on, and thank everybody for tapping in with us. Until the next time, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.